What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Antonius the Gamer here, back with another installment of Grade the Super. Now, if you're new here, for those who don't know, I don't do a rate the super out of 10. I don't do a tier list of A to F rank. We grade the super over here. So I'm assigning every super in these games a grade from either an A plus or an F. And sometimes these specials fall somewhere in between. So I figured I will go with one of the classic Dragon Ball games that made its way to America, which is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. Now, I have a lot of memories with this game in particular. The story mode was a 101 at the time. Like, the things that we were getting from this game was just groundbreaking. And in a lot of ways, it's the grandfather and paved the way for how well the Dragon Ball games are being received. Like, you don't get Fighters or even Sparking Zero without Budokai 1. So with no further ado, let's get on to grading the super. Starting off with what seems like Frieza. I'm gonna give that one. I'll give it a B. I think it's crazy because a lot of these initial supers, no matter who it starts off with, I always seem to go with a B. But I think this is a super of just it did what it needed to do, right? I'm like, I can't. It's not the worst super, right? Of like they could have been a lot worse, but I don't think it's exceptional, right? I think having Frieza do the small death ball is an interesting choice, right? Normally we're used to seeing him do like the giant supernova, but having him just do the little death ball, you see it gets kind of glowing on his finger before he throws it, and appearances are deceiving, right? And you just see the whole planet detonate from it. And not only does he hit the opponent with it, he hits it from their back. So for that reason alone, I'm gonna give it a B. Vegeta. Get this! Big Bang attack! You gotta love Vegeta's supers. They're always like simple but effective, right? Just the two-handed slam, just the charging up of the palm, and just the close up and boom, detonation. His Big Bang Contact super, I'll probably give that one. It's gonna be probably closer to like a, because I'm wrestling right now because it's like he did it in the anime pretty much almost literally, but it doesn't do anything. Like I actually argue it did less visually than Frieza's. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to give it like a B minus. I'll give it a B minus. All right, he had two supers. Let's finish this. Final blast. I remember as a kid, there was always something so wonky about this super because I'm like, isn't Vegeta's stronger attack the Final Flash? Why does it look weaker? Why doesn't it also blow up the surrounding area? So like you see him like charge up and like he hits the person and they kind of skid across the ground. But I'm gonna give that one a B. I think just the hitting the classic pose, the taking the time to charge the energy, the electricity crackling, like there's an attention to detail there, especially in the buildup that can't be denied. I just think that payoff is what stops it from being an A material. Like this is the thing that we thought was gonna blow up the earth according to Trunks in the anime, and we didn't quite get that same feeling with that super. So a B. Goku. Yeah! Let me have some of your energy. Yeah! A spirit bomb. It's a spirit bomb. Again, you got to start somewhere, right? Because I'm like, the places they took the spirit bomb, by the time we got to Budokai 3, it's crazy how much of a glow up they gave Goku. This is probably gonna be my first D And the only reason why it's not an F is because it is one of those, well, he did it in the anime of like a simple knockdown, charge up, throws it, it explodes. It's like you hit a couple checkpoints, right? Like you did just enough not to fail my class. So I'm gonna give that one a D. Goku also had two supers. The Warp Kamehameha. That one, it's simple, but it does so much with so little. I'm gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it an A for a couple reasons. I think it's one, the dedication to show him doing the Warp Kamehameha as best as they could from the anime, where he starts up in the air, teleports, and hits him with the beam. And I love the fact that they have the enemy like throw a key blast to try to stop him. So you see like it's not just him teleporting for visual sake. Like it actually holds a purpose to get out of the way of danger. But they switch it up in their own way. And rather than him blasting them in the face, it's just like, nah, got you from behind, and they turn around as the blast is hitting. And I love that angle. So give that one an A. It's an A for sure. Gohan. This one is bringing back memories because I always remember being so confused by his ultimate. Of like, okay, I get it that he's technically the most powerful character in the game, probably next to Cell. And the charge up is there, the holding of the beam, the containing of the beam. But when he fires it, like it's cool that the enemy tries to get out of the way and still gets nuked. But it's just, again, something they would correct later on. But you're used to seeing the father-son Kamehameha. Like in anything that's not going to be that, or if it's not him doing the, Kamehameha with no charge up before he fires, you're just kind of like, I mean, this is just a super Kamehameha. And I'm not going to give it a super grade for all those reasons. That one is going to be a C. Piccolo. I'm not going to hold y'all. That's an A+. It's an A+. It's an A+ for a couple reasons. One, I think, as we've been seeing from the supers, a lot of these knockdowns are pretty generic, like the double hand slam. Piccolo doesn't give you the double hand slam. Nah, he gives you the backflip kick back to the ground. So you bounce up off of the ground, then he lands. And there's just something that has always stuck out to me about the way the camera pans when he's charging up his fingers, like it cuts and then cuts again, and you just see the impact. He fires it. You see his arm, of course, with wonky animation, kind of like bounce back from the impact. It hits the opponent, and then you see like the almost like the piercing effect of it. That is an A+ super. Piccolo also had two ultimates. Oof. Nice start, right? I think the whole knock up, the seeing him charge energy in his hand and start firing off was cool. My issue, honestly, with it is the payoff. Like, I get, yes, we see the little key blast, but we don't see enough. Like, I think the mistake they make is that the camera is a little bit too zoomed in, so you're not seeing as many blasts as you would think is being fired, in my opinion. So for that, I'm gonna give that one like a C+. Give that a C+. Tien.
Volleyball fit. Service. Six. Fight.
Now, in any other world, we all know we want Tien to have the tri-beam, neo-tri-beam, the Kokoho, in some form or fashion. Them giving him the volleyball fist and he makes the face. I mean, the commitment. You gotta give you gotta give him some extra credit for effort. I'm gonna give that one a B plus. Krillin. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward Destructo disc chain. Not much going on visually. Just he did it. He did it. That's a D. That's a D for sure. Cell.
Thanks for the other
Oh, I forgot how good that super was. I forgot the whole thing of seeing the first person as he hits the person, hits him with the knee, hits him up, elbows them down, and then I remember playing Budokai for the first time, seeing Cell do the spirit bomb. I'm like, wait, I didn't even know Cell can do a spirit bomb, and you start googling at the time, looking up. It's like, nah, Cell did threaten to use a spirit bomb at one point, and they actually went for it. Like you would have expected a super Kamehameha, but it's like, nah, I'm gonna hit you with an attack you won't expect. That is an A plus super. Future Trunks.
Burning attack!
So I think this guy did not pick the right stage for this ultimate because it's one of those ones where because there's so much going on visually when Trunks starts crossing his arms, that little dust cloud they had kind of takes away from that. But I remember seeing this ultimate as a kid and being like, how are they even able to animate that? Right? It looked crazy. It looked like something you could only literally draw. Now, granted, it ends pretty basically. Like it wasn't the most visually spectacular attack, in the anime, but it's just the attention to detail, and for that reason, I got to give it an A. I got to. Android 16.
Blasters fire!
I'm gonna have to get that one an A. Honestly, an A. I think it's again, it's different, right? The setup is different leading to the knockdown. There's like the slow descent as Android 16 is coming back and the enemy's just wheezing for breath, where it's like, you're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes of me time. Right? You just have that little buildup, and then he just detonates point blank, and you see the blast to start to build. How can you not get that one an A? Android 19. What an odd angle. I remember seeing his ultimate and being like, okay, well that happened. And I was it 23 years later? I'm like, okay, yeah, that happened. It's an ultimate, but I'm a let's be for real. I'm gonna give that one an F. Like it's funny in some ways. The kick as a like backflip away is nice. I think if there had just been something more to the ending, it would have been cool. But it's an F. Hercule. How can you not give this an A plus? How? Sway? In a scenario where you're throwing, he's throwing hands as best as he can, backflips. the bomb Game Boy falls out of his pocket and propels him to the opponent with the little small eyes that he had when he ran into an obstacle he couldn't overcome. Yeah, that's an A plus, a surprising A plus ultimate from Hercule. Oh, he had 2 ultimates. I forgot about that.
Here. Say goodbye.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'll say it. Hercule has 2 of the best ultimates in Budokai 1. What do you want? What? Hot take, I guess. That's another A plus. Recoome.
Recoome. Ultra.
So while I do like the angle of the knockdown, I mean, again, it's somewhat reminiscent to what we saw with Android 16. Is like his red-headed counterpart does a lot better than what Recoome has to offer. Like the bomber it's a cool angle, him blowing up at the opponent. You're seeing it from behind the opponent's shoulder and they get lifted up by the explosion, but you don't really feel the effect of like him wiping the space clean. I'll have to give that one probably like a C. Oh, Ginyu. Well, we know what Ginyu's special is going to be.
Fantastic body. Huh?
Ginyu is Goku and Goku is Ginyu. I mean, another one of like he did it in the anime. Like there was a case and now granted, I do think that Captain Ginyu brought a lot more to the table than just body change. To be fair, I think there was a lot more things done with him in future installments that spoke to somewhat of the versatility in his moveset. But at a certain point, initially, this is what he was known for, switching bodies. So, voila, he switches bodies. And for that, I give him a B. He did it in the anime super. All right, I guess that is it in terms of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. Now, again, I did not think Hercule would have been ranked so highly, would have passed my class of flying colors, but he did. But ladies and gentlemen, I would love to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know, was there a super you feel like I graded too harshly? Should I give someone a higher score, a lower score? Or was everything pretty much on point with what you guys were thinking? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, peace.